Hey guys, welcome back to the review show. My name's Austin, and today, we saw Dune. I saw it twice. You've seen it three times.
I've seen it once.
You've only seen it once. I'm thinking about planning on seeing Dune again. So, by the way, guys, this is a spoiler review. If you guys have not seen the film, click off, and go check out my spoiler-free review. And if anything, just go see it. Just, just go watch it. I mean, like, and there's a lot of people waiting to see it on IMAX. If you can't get it on IMAX, just go see it in a normal auditorium. If anything, it's going to be a great experience either way. And just a little info before we get into the spoilers. Don't be expecting a lot of action in this movie. It's not like Star Wars, and that's probably the because I've been seeing like people saying that it's boring, which I can understand. But and next, they see the trailer, it's like, oh, it's a lot of action, but it's not going to be. So think of like it's Star Wars with Game of Thrones, but more Game of Thrones. That's how I can say it without spoiling a lot of things. But if you want more insight, go check out my spoiler-free review. That's your warning. Now let's get into it. I freaking love this film. I don't know if it's going to be my number one movie of the year, but it's right now up there.
I
Um,
mean, what other movies could pass this besides Deadpool?
well, I've seen a lot of good films recently, like Ordinary Angels. I just saw a secret screening tonight called One Life with Anthony Mack not Anthony Mackie with why am I blanking his name? Anthony Hopkins. I don't know why I was blanking his name. Well, the one thing in my review I said is that I did not really buy at first the relationship between Timothy and Zendaya. I just didn't. I'm like, this feels very forced. I did not like. I can buy it towards the end, but at first I'm like, okay, makes sense. Two hot people, smash them together.
You're just jealous that you're not the Lisa Gaib, that you're not.
I think Tom Holland's jealous that he didn't get a sex scene with Zendaya and Spider-Man.
All right,
There's
that's enough.
I mean there is no sex. I mean there's an aftermath, but there's no sex shown. But yeah, I didn't really buy it at first. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I mean, if that's your only gripe, I guess I can see where you're coming from. I think like
There's
it's
well
really hard to do relationships right when you're copying it from a book. You just
well,
have
I don't know if that's what it was like in the book or if there was a little bit more drawn out.
I don't think anyone who read the book had a problem, but I mean, we're just moviegoers who watched the movie. We didn't actually read the book, and none of us
Yet,
and
yet,
this guy's got the book right there. Yeah. Actually, let me
you
go grab my copy.
you want to join me while I read this? You should.
We could do a read aloud. Yeah,
Yes.
baby.
Oh,
Oh,
you literally have the same exact copy.
yeah, I do. I wish I
Um,
had a cooler copy, but it's whatever.
there's a deluxe one that came out. I don't get the difference between why they call it a deluxe book. It's like, what's different? Does it have, I don't know, DLC to it?
I
Like,
might be stupid, but I thought they were spelling Johnny like John.
I thought her name was, I thought from the trailer when I was listening to the trailer, I thought it said Connie, but no, apparently it's Johnny. I,
I mean, I feel like it would be said like Chani, like
yeah, it's
CH.
just something along those lines. But no,
But
it's a guy's name. Apparently Zendaya's secretly a guy. Um, no,
yeah.
no. That's the twist of the movie. Zendaya was actually a guy all along. But
That's why she leaves. That's why they
yes.
break up.
I mean, like they could have done a little bit more for me to care for her character. Like, from my understanding, when he has to go into the desert by himself and next Zendaya tags along, like we could have, and like it's supposed to be like, okay, they bond over that time period. But we could have seen a little bit more of that. In the book, he just goes by himself, from what I know.
Yeah. I do
Um,
think that was a good directing choice because right after that scene, they have that time skip. So like he wanted to introduce
yeah, that's another thing.
a bigger
Like,
character.
there's clearly that this takes place over at least a month, I think, or maybe a couple
I
weeks.
think I think it's more than that. I think it's probably maybe 3 or 4 months. It's
Is it?
definitely not a lot because
Well, it's just
obviously
it's not
um,
very it's not
pregnant.
I don't think they did it to I don't think they showed that off pretty well, like, hey, time has passed. I mean, like, you could have thrown some hair on Timothy Chalamet to say, like, hey, time has passed or something, like he grew somewhat facial hair or something.
Well, I don't think it was. Do you think Timothy Chalamet could grow facial
I
hair?
mean, he's in the desert. He doesn't have a razor.
I guess, but
I,
I don't know.
so I'm saying, like, they could have shown better way that, hey, time has passed, so meaning like these characters been together for a bit, so they have grown a connection. Because to us, it seems like literally the next day they are starting to have sex or something. Like
Yeah,
so,
I mean that you just have to like insert the time jump into your mind before that scene happens. Otherwise, it is a little awkward. Yeah.
yeah. So, and there's another complaint that I mentioned in my review, and it comes with Dave Bautista's character, where he is set up in the previous film like this badass dude. And actually, find out here he's kind of like a wuss, and as he goes up against Josh Brolin's character, and instantly dies. I'm like, well, you could have at least had it like 15 seconds longer or something. I don't know, like a cool little
Yeah,
fight.
it could have been a little bit better of a fight. I mean, yeah, I feel like Dave Bautista's character was just getting pooped on the entire movie.
Well, it's because we have Austin
Great.
Butler. He has to be the badass one.
Yo, would you kiss Austin Butler's feet?
I hey, that is me. All right, I am Austin Butler.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. I would say my one complaint from the movie is just that I wanted more scenes from more characters. It's just like if he could give us an extended version of both movies, then I would love that. But I get why they had to cut it short. It is a good movie the way that he cut it, but like I want to see more scenes with the Emperor. I feel like we
I
barely got
didn't.
any.
What I don't know how to say his name. How do you say his name?
I don't know.
I I'll have to look up the actor's name. But
Guy from
yeah.
Saw.
Um, the Emperor was sort of kind of. I'm like, how is this guy intimidating? How's this guy in control of this whole entire galaxy? And next you have Austin Butler, who is like, I'll kill my own free hot women over here. Um, and it's like, why is he not the Emperor? Like, I'd be more terrified of this guy than this old man over here.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just the Bene Gesserit. I really love
Christopher Walken, that's his name.
Bene Gesserit. Yeah.
It's my
Okay.
turn.
I do have one question for you. So
Mhm.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but in the book ending, Chani's character actually stays with Paul after he declares his love for her in the book version, but in the movie version, she ends up leaving. What do you think about that change?
Well, I mean, they're probably going to be together in the third one, or have some reason. Because in one of the books, he has kids with Johnny, right? So during that one sex scene that we don't really see, I'm pretty sure that's going to imply like that he got her pregnant. He's going to come back to the planet. She's going to have two kids to set up maybe another movie, which I've heard that the books later on get weird because someone turns into a worm or something. Um, it, I don't know.
I
It,
think if they could just finish with Dune Messiah, I have no idea what it's about, but I know that um, Denis Villeneuve is, I think he's almost done writing
yeah, but
the,
he has other he has like, he says that he has other projects he's going to have to work on first before he,
yeah. I kind of,
we're not going to get we're
everything.
not going to get the next film till like, I don't know, 28. Isn't Rebecca Ferguson's character? I think this is where people are getting confused with her character. It was confusing for me at first in her and when on my first viewing of it. Her character is kind of like a villain a tiny bit in this movie. Is it it's the blue life, whatever it's called. The
The
I
water
for
of life.
Um, I think isn't that like manipulating her in some form? Is that what it's implying? And next, the child, like because she's pregnant, she like the child's evil. Is that what they're hinting at? I
I
f-
I think so. Like I don't know any lore behind Dune, so I
be,
don't really want to guess because like it just I don't know. We're gonna
well,
make a stupid.
her character was just honestly, if anything, if I had to say like the most confusing thing was her character. Like I didn't really understand her purpose, especially when Timothy drinks the blue blood. It's like he like it's like all right, I don't want to go. He doesn't want to go to the south because he knows what happens if he goes to the south. But then Zendaya's like, well, we have no other options. We have to go. And he's like, all right, fine, I'll go. Except they're riding the worms, and it's all out of nowhere. He just goes off on his own direction and goes drinks and makes himself drink the blue blood. And it's like, I feel like I thought they were going to set up maybe he was pressured to go drink it, but out of nowhere, he just kind of goes, yeah. Like, so, but, but that also sets up him seeing the future and all of that, which does that kind of ruin him seeing so much of the future? Does that kind of ruin the suspense a little bit of the film? It's like, because, like, how can you defeat a guy that can see the future?
I mean that's just part of his arc. I really liked the
Well, I
shift
like his arc. I think
there.
that he started as like this person who he dropped like he didn't care about well he cared about getting revenge, but he got more attached to being a Freeman, and he decided to let the is that what's that's how you say it, right? Freeman
Fremen,
or
Fremen, I
Fremen.
think. I don't know.
Um,
Freeman.
I mean, if they want to be free. Um, so he like lets go his anger, but then as soon as he drinks it, he's like, well, you know what, since I can now see fully in the future, why would I not take this opportunity to take my revenge? And he kind of blames Zendaya a little bit. Isn't that my understanding why she gets mad at him? It's like, well, thanks to you, since I came down here, drank it. Now I know the future. I have these powers.
Uh, I think it was more Zendaya being mad. It was Chani being mad at Paul because um,
What's her own doing?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like she was just more mad at Paul's mom because she knew Paul's mom was manipulating Paul and she put him in at risk because person, no man had ever drank the the water of life and lived. But
Yeah.
Paul is the son al Gaib. It was written.
And I think yeah, that was funny. I like how it's like it's as written, and it's like I like the one line. It's like, oh, he's so humble that he doesn't think that he is the Messiah. I found that freaking funny. It's
Those are really
I mean
good lines.
like it's kind of true to some religions, to be honest. Where like it's like wow, it's like so. But I believe in the book, she chooses to save Paul, right? But here, Rebecca forces her to do it. I'm pretty sure that's how it happens in the book, where she wants to save Paul, and so she chooses to save Paul. I don't know if you can remember or not.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember.
But I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, like we do get a lot of different type of culture. Well, this is a very type of religious film where we do see a lot of the Fremen's point of view, and like and their belief was actually made up from this higher from Rebecca's character's um people. Like they made up, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter if you guys made it up, we believe it. It's some, and I think that connects us to a lot of people. It's like we don't care, we believe it because that's our only hope or something on those lines. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, my mind was wandering about the movie, I guess. I don't know.
well,
I'd
chime
like
in.
I feel like every other part of this movie that we haven't talked about, like we've been only like talking like about our gripes with it.
Well, I'm not
Just know
taking my grapes.
well, like yeah, like every other part. that we're not talking about is just absolutely perfect. The people that worked on this movie are so unbelievably talented. Hans Zimmer did an amazing job on the score. Just the directing, the acting, the writing, the sets, the visual effects, the cinematography, it's all perfect. And like you need to watch this on the biggest screen that you can. Like no one's
Well,
overhyping up this movie.
you gotta give
Not
more
a good
reason. You gotta give more reasons why. And one of the things think when I look at this movie is that it looks like they spent literally every penny on that movie. While you look at like something like Fast X, where it looks like half of the money went to the actor's back pocket.
movie. For the Rock.
And to say the freaking line family is so expensive they have to they have to give that half of the budget to say family. But I mean, like one, I do really like the technology in this film. Like, the first opening where you see these troopers, they just like they hear like a worm coming because the Freeman um alerts a worm, and so they're like, oh well, we need to get to higher ground, and they just start floating. And at first, I thought my eyes was playing tricks on me. I was like, does it look fake? But then like the more that they went on with it, I'm like, okay, you know what? I buy it, whatever. Because at first it looked a little off. I'm like, hmm, didn't know you guys can do that, but you know, it's cool anyways. Um,
Yeah, I absolutely loved how that scene was filmed. That was definitely my favorite scene. The intro scene because it picks up like right where they left off. They're still on their journey to get to like where the
well, I even like their ships. I like the bug ships. I think those are probably my favorite ships. I don't know, is that how they described in the book, or is that just some adaptation of
I
it?
don't know, I didn't get that far.
Oh, wow. See, we gotta have this reading series then. And I'm looking forward to the Dune game. They dropped the trailer today of recording this.
Didn't look that
No.
exciting.
Well, if it's directed by the guy who directed these, you'd be like, "Oh no, I'm looking forward to it."
Well, yeah, but like the gameplay in it, it looked like Fortnite. It looked like Dune Fortnite edition. You
Well,
can build and then
they gotta make their city. I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious what it is, and we're getting a Dune prequel TV show as well. Um, which I'm curious what that one's all about. I don't know much about it. I'm really trying to dive into what to talk about into this film. I mean, like we kind of talked about everything. What do you think of the fight between what do you think of Austin Butler's character as a whole in the film? A lot of people were kind of saying like his entrance was a little weak, where he because like
hmm.
because his like uncle drugged like the prisoners, or because every time they I guess they have these gladiator fights, they are supposed to drug the prisoners, but then he decides not to drug one of them to um give his nephew like a challenge or something, which is like why would he want to drug them? Would you want to show how powerful your nephew is? So I don't know. I kind of agree with him, but I also kind of don't, because you either way get to see how a badass Austin Butler is, and that kind of makes him still intimidating in some form. I also don't think he should be killing all his freaking servers either. It's not,
Yeah.
it's
I mean, if you're just like, if you look at his character, like he's not like the most intimidating looking guy, but I just like, I love the voice acting that Austin Butler did. He like the way that he like used his voice to like build that character and create it is just, it just felt so creepy. But like sometimes when actors try to do like that creepy, evil voice, it can come off like pretty cringe. But I
and
think
he,
Austin Butler did a really good job
and
with it.
he also has sex in this film too. Everyone's having sex in this movie,
Yeah,
which
Bene they're everywhere.
I'm pretty sure they were gonna, I guess, set that up in the next one too. I don't because like well now his bloodlines is secured in me. I'm like, what does that matter? Like I don't know. Well, I guess because if he's the bloodline to Paul, which was revealed in this film that he's also related to the Harkonnens. so I guess if Paul becomes the emperor, then he has the rival to I guess the throne. He has the right to the throne or something. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. It felt kind of strange that he has sex with this woman. Um, I guess that's how I guess the species gets around, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of things going on about like how this is like, up there with Empire Strikes Back. I think the thing that Empire Strikes Back has over this film is that you can watch Empire Strikes Back without watching A New Hope. Do you say like you can watch Dune Part 2 without watching the first one, or do you think you have to watch them both?
Oh,
To
I think you totally can watch Dune 2 without watching Dune 1. They give you enough like hints because I think the the beginning scene is so good because it starts off with them
but
still on the
don't you,
journey. And like the only thing that you need to know from the first movie is that Paul's house is dead. They mention that, and then his friend Gurney comes back. But like the fact that he's
well,
the
I kind of
Mount is
well
like
the director
that's
comes
hinted throughout the entire movie.
yeah. And the reason why I asked that is because the director comes out and says like, "Oh, you don't need to see the first one to watch this one." But I feel like it's not only a setup to this one, you're kind of missing out on some of the reasons why we should care for what goes on into this film, because the whole point of the film is revenge. And because of what happened in the first one, it's like, yes, like the movie makes it clear like, hey, he was part of this previous house who dies, like his family gets wiped off completely. And but I don't think you will care as much if you know, like if you see him go through that journey, especially when you see certain characters die like Jason Momoa and you see the events play out. I mean, like you could like and you can understand it pretty well, but I don't think you will have the same impact like someone
You
that
won't have the same
has.
emotional impact. Yeah, you won't be as emotionally invested into the movie. I really like Dune 1 a lot still. I think it's still a 10 out of 10 for me. Dune 1. I enjoyed the first
Which
one.
one would you rather watch over? First one or the second one?
Oh, I mean, definitely the second one. The second one's more interesting, but I
Okay.
loved how they presented the new world of Arrakis to us in the first film. I think that feeling
Arrakis,
of
that's the
like
name of the planet.
the desert power was much more prominent in the first film. And I mean, some of those elements were like a little bit skipped over. Like you wouldn't understand how dangerous the desert would be if you didn't watch the
Yeah,
first film.
that
I think
that
that's what you're
and
missing out on.
in the book, from my understanding, you see him go through the desert part when he's off by himself. But here they kind of just hand wave it like it's kind of fades to into another day. And it's like if I wish they could this movie, I think I would have been fine with if this movie was 3 or 3.5 hours long because
Yeah.
it's a
I mean,
big
that's
book.
why I think that's why they should I think he should have an extended version. I mean, he's
I think well,
could be.
I don't think there's an extended version of the first one.
I don't know. I mean, he could come out in like 10 years and say, "Oh,
Well, I mean,
uh,
yeah, he can.
my extended version." I would love that. Like Lord of the Rings extended versions are so much better. I
I
prefer
mean,
the
like
extended
it,
version.
yeah, it
But to
would.
get on the big screen and get the most profit, you got to keep that film under 3 hours. There's just no way people are going to go see a 3 hour
Well,
movie.
no, no, I understand it, and it makes more sense for this than anything that for like any like extended edition. I would wa watch instantly because I like this movie a lot over something like what Zack Snyder always does. Well,
All right, I'm leaving.
no,
I'm going.
no,
I'm leaving, bro. Screw you. You did not bring Zack Snyder to this.
yeah, so that is our sort of Dune spoiler review. Go, if you still haven't seen the film, what are you fucking doing? Watching this, go check it out, and well, yeah, we'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you haven't seen the movie yet, you're insane. You just got the entire movie spoiled for you. That's crazy.
It
Go see
is.
it.